Yeah, when I think about all the time that I spent scouring the internet looking for free or inexpensive sounds, especially in the early days, it's still just really frustrating. Think about all the time that I wasted just looking for something that could make something even remotely similar to the sound that I'm hearing in my head, and that it could be something that I could actually afford to get at the time.
This sounds like this sounds like
What?
why? What the?
What the?
There's gotta be something out there somewhere. Why is it so hard to find what I'm looking for?
So I picked up my first instrument about 1993, somewhere about 28 years ago. And I started doing full productions probably, I think it was 2014, about 7 years ago. Well, I was actually doing some demos and stuff previous to that, probably about 20 years ago, I believe. I was recording demos and whatnot on an old four-track tape recorder of mine, but they weren't really finished productions. So anyhow, circa 2014, when I started making more finished, no, slightly more polished productions, some of the problems I ran into were things like managing the equipment and the programs and the plugins. Something I ran into quite a bit was where to find decent, usable sounds and things that I could afford, honestly. Sounds were either geared towards a type of music that wasn't really what I was making, and therefore the sounds weren't all that usable to me, or they were just flat out very expensive and out of my reach at the time.
Hell no.
So, one of my missions in life and as a musician is to pass on information that I have and that I can share with others in their life journey, in their musical journey, in their road to becoming a better human and a better musician.
Oh my God.
So, what I'm going to start doing, either on a weekly or at least twice a month, doing reviews of plugins that are affordable.
Yeah, baby.
Or also plugins that are just a great value, maybe a little bit more expensive, but really you get a lot of bang for your buck with those plugins. So, with all that said, let's dig into what we have for you this week. So one of the things I really enjoy about this plugin is that it's a synth that is very usable right out of the box. It has a lot of presets that you can use just how they are. And they're also a very good starting point for manipulating and coming up with your own sound. From starting out with the preset, you can tweak the filter very easily the modulations. You can tweak the wavetable on the oscillators, and it's all very intuitive. It has 3 effects that you can add to your sounds: drive, reverb, and delay. And all the controls are very easy. They're all on one page, very well laid out. I think that it would be a good value at $59, which is its normal price. But right now it happens to be on sale for $5. It's something that can really get you to making some pretty high quality sounds pretty quickly at a very low price. So what we're going to do is go over some presets that I have starred, and we're going to start out with some presets that they have labeled as chords. They're not actually chords. They're presets that would be well used for chords. They're synthesizer sounds and whatnot. After that, we're going to go over some leads. And after that, we are going to go over some plucks and bells. So let's take a look at some presets.
Yeah.
some of these plugins cost $300 and up, and it could just get really ridiculous. So it's really refreshing to find something that you can pull some decent sounds out of that's at a really reasonable cost. So with something like a synthesizer, there's always a few things that I'm looking for. The first most important thing would be the sound quality and the textures that you can get from it. One of the first categories I'm looking for good sounds is in synth pads, especially if it's a polysynth. You need to have really good pads to even start getting my attention. The next category that I typically tend to look for sounds that are going to fit my needs would be bells or plucks that are just real vibey, can really set the mood and kind of lay down some melody lines for you. And the third category that's kind of a must for me is that it has nice leads that you can, really fill out the sound. Add those little touches that really create a strong vibe and connection with the track you're making. Then after that, this is probably more like a bonus, but something I'm definitely looking for is ease of use and the quality of controls that you have access to. It's nice, especially when you don't have to do a lot of menu diving. Everything's really intuitive. If you kind of get lost in the sauce, digging through things, you can really just lose your vibe. So this synth here, Orb Synth by Hexachords, kind of checks off all those boxes. And at the price they got it at right now, it's a steal. Um, and we'll get straight to the the ones that I think are